everybody! Today I am going to talk about a topic that a viewer actually wrote me about. Before I'm going to talk about that though, just a few things I want to clear up. If you haven't seen yet the Edo Wonderland video that was up before this one, please go check that out. I spent a lot of time editing and all of that, and it's really cool, really unique. And I'm really happy with the results, and also thank you guys for your responses. The response to that has been really good, really great, and I'm really happy of what that video came out to be. Other than that, what I wanted to say is what is going to come up next week and the week after. At the moment, I am doing some research on Ora-Ora-Kei, and I'm going to actually buy a magazine that I have never bought before, because up until now I thought that it had nothing to do with Gyaru. And in a way I still believe that it doesn't have to do as much with Gyaru, but I've discovered some pretty fun things that I want to talk about. We're going to go some real in-depth stuff with Ora-Ora-Kei, especially also because Ora-Ora-Kei is very popular in Western Gyaru communities, and I was always surprised because, like I said, I thought, well, it's more Gyaru than Gyaru, but it started out as a boys thing. But I will talk about all of that in a video that will come up. But because of that, I will also upload a video about Gyaru. Now, it is a very old video. It is a video that literally was made 3 years ago by me. I thought I re-uploaded it when I lost my channel and started this channel again. Because I was talking to a friend about Ora-Ora-Kei, and I was like, do you know what Gyaru is? And I thought, well, I have a video of Gyaru on my channel, and I tried to look it up, and I saw that I forgot to upload that video. And so, just to be sure, I checked my library of videos, and I also found out that I didn't actually upload the video where I show my magazines back in Holland. So, the video next week will be first the one where I show my magazines, my Gyaru and Gyaruo magazines, which was back in Holland. And the video after that will be of Gyaru, and then we'll get more into the Ora-Ora-Kei stuff, which I think a lot of people will find very interesting. But because of that, maybe if you actually did not watch my videos back on my old channel, which was Akuma Max 90, then the following videos will actually be new to you, so that might also be fun for you. But anyway, that will also all come in the future. Today we are going to talk about, a viewer asked me what my experience is, or what the beauty standards are for Gyaru and Gyaruo. So what do they expect, what is common, and what do they want? And this was very interesting, because especially because it was asked by a guy. So I immediately started to think about, well, what would be beauty standards or beauty aspects for Gyaru, and he was talking about, he was giving examples with, like, do they need to be thin, how does plastic surgery come into play, and that was very interesting because I did a video on plastic surgery and Gyaru before, but never on plastic surgery and Gyaruo. What one must realize is that in terms of beauty standards, the main focus, and this goes for both Gyaru and Gyaruo, goes into the face. A reason why there's so much focus and so much, I don't know, concentration on the face is, I think one of the reasons is, for example, in Shibuya 109, 109-2, you only have 3 sizes. You have S, medium, or you have small, medium, and large. I always need to buy the large. Otherwise it will be just too small. And in terms of, like, jeans and shoes, it is no problem. In terms of shirts, sometimes they're a little short. Like, I mean, they're tight, but you also see that they're tight around fucking models, model bodies. So I think that is something that they perceive. But because of that, they already limit the body weight or how your body can be by having no more than 3 sizes. The focus is not there on the body as much as on the face, because, well, if you can't fit in it, then that's good luck, then that's your problem. Of course, there are other stores that cater to Gyaru and Gyaruo with bigger bodies, but I'll come to that back in a bit. I want to first focus a little bit on plastic surgery and face, and at the second half I will talk about body weight and how people perceive that and stuff. So the biggest focus in the face area, by far, is the nose. You can see that back in makeup, in the amount of makeup that is being concentrated on the nose. Not only with Gyaru, with more toned down makeup looks, but also, of course, the more extreme versions where there's always a lot of concentration on the nose. Whenever I hear an insult about a certain girl here in Japan, in the face, it always is the nose. We actually had, at the language school I was studying Japanese at here in Shibuya, we had a discussion in class. We read an article, and we read what Japanese perceived like Western faces at. And again, the nose played a big role in that, where they said that Westerners have long pointy nose, or pointy noses, and Japanese, or maybe Asians, I don't remember, but they have flat noses. And I'm not too sure what they find pretty or not pretty, but I know that whenever there's plastic surgery going on, or, you know, makeup or trying to hide, it is always the nose. I mean, you even have, I think, like I said, I'm not into visual K, and I'm not an expert, but I know that some of the reasons why some of the band members wear like the band or the band around their nose is because they don't like their own nose. I think a lot of them also do it because they like it, but I know that some of them actually try to hide it. So there's a big problem with that. I myself have no problem with noses. I don't look at it like that. I mean, you know, I've looked through some surveys, see what kind of faces Gyaru like, and you see things like a small face or a long face. I have no idea what they mean with that. In fact, I sometimes even think that they don't even know what they mean by that, because it's the same like, what kind of guy do you like, or what's your type? Pretty much 8 out of 10 times it'd say yasashii hito, which means a nice person, which I'm like, well, don't you take that for granted? I mean, unless you want somebody who treat you like shit, which, well, there are girls who like that too, but, you know, I mean, someone nice, I think everybody already expects that. But, for me, if you would ask me what in the face would then be important, it is teeth. Something that I actually never really think about, especially because in the West, of course, it is very common now to have braces, have good teeth. Here it's not. And what is funny to me is that, for example, they have the tooth that sticks out or sticks in. That I really don't like that. And you don't realize how important really like good teeth are until you've seen, you know, a girl smile or a boy smile with teeth all fucked up. And I'm not necessarily ashamed to admit it, because we live now in an age where surgery is so good for teeth that you can pretty much fix anything. So it costs money, I guess, but we are insured in the West, so that is one thing that we get up over Japan. Is beautiful teeth, because everybody can have that, you know. Where with other stuff, people are born a certain way or a certain look, so even if you do plastic surgery, you won't get, you know, rid of 100% who you are. But with teeth, you know, you can fix it. And actually, a fun story is that, of course, my mother flies or works at airport or flying company, and a lot of the Japanese stewardesses who work for the Dutch company, they only fly between Holland and Tokyo every time. It's kind of boring. But they actually go to Holland to actually get braces there, because braces are way less expensive in the West than here in Japan. Now, I've read, and I think I also said it myself, that there is this image here in Tokyo or in Japan where it's also cute to have that tooth sticking out or sticking in. I think there is a certain conscience among these girls that know that they don't have beautiful teeth. when I asked my female friends here to show me their teeth, none of them wanted to do that. So I kind of had to like sneaky, like whenever they laughed really loud, I had to like sneak in and check if what kind of teeth they have, and most of them have okay teeth. There's some teeth in the sides that are like fucked up, so that's alright. But for me, personal teeth is a certain standard, I guess, that I expect. It's not a downer in terms of that, oh shit, you have bad teeth, now I cannot be with you. But it is something that I will notice. I'm like, oh, you don't have that good teeth, but okay. In terms of plastic surgery, I think Gyaru don't do a whole lot of that. If there were models, that would be probably the main sort of category that would do plastic surgery. And again, it will be nose, but also eyes. In terms of double eyelids, in the magazines there have been ways for Japanese Gyaru to actually get that look, so they have no reason for plastic surgery. But it is kind of difficult because no one actually really knew it. It is a very good question about like Gyaru and plastic surgery, but something that is kind of a mystery. Like I said, if there's plastic surgery, it's probably in the model section. Or the model category, and not necessarily in regular Gyaru on the streets. Might also be because they spend so much, money on clothes and accessories, and even though plastic surgery is also some way to look, it's still kind of expensive. Though I heard that eye surgery is actually kind of cheap. The nose surgery is very expensive. One thing that I want to share with you guys is that since I studied 2 years at language school, I shared my classes with a lot of Taiwanese, Chinese, and Korean girls and boys. I think I shared my class with around 8 Korean girls. Out of those 8 Korean girls, 7 had undergone plastic surgery on their face. And that was eyes and nose. And nose is nose reduction, and eye is eye enlargement. I met 3 girls out of Taiwan who did this, and these are girls around my age. So no, actually that's not true. It actually really differs. There was a Korean girl who was actually I think 37. She was a mother, had 2 kids. But there was also a girl who was, I think, 19 or 20, and she also had undergone plastic surgery. But especially like Korea and plastic surgery, that is on a whole different level. I mean, I don't know, one of the interesting things is I saw a photo of the Miss Korea. I don't remember if it's 2013 or 2012, I don't know, I looked it up on Google. But like the contestants for Miss Korea of a certain year, and all of their faces look exactly the same. Like it's so scary to me that you have all these sort of clones all the same look. Which in Gyaru you actually have a lot of substyles, you have a lot of certain looks, which I like because there's a lot of diversity even though it is the same subculture. But I think Japan is still a little scared about plastic surgery. And I think that will never change. And that will probably never change, or not change for only Japan, but also in the West. Here's an example. When 2 girls would get into a fight, you want to hurt the other one, right? So you'll try to take a low blow. So no matter probably what age we are in, if one of the girls knows that the other one has done plastic surgery, she will try and use that as an argument to hurt her by saying, your nose is fake, or your tits are fake, or you were born with small tits and you needed that, whatever the fuck they say. They want to try to hurt her, even though if you would regularly ask them, well, plastic surgery, no problem, if you want to do it, you can do it. But because there is still, I don't know, a point of maybe jealousy involved, or when there is kind of hate involved, you want to hurt the other one, you might pick back on that. That's actually also one of the reasons why I don't think racism would ever, or discrimination would ever go away on this world, because if you would get into a fight with somebody else, he will try to hurt you and he will try to pick at your weak spot, which could be a handicap or your skin color or whatever the fuck. And the last thing that I want to say about plastic surgery and stuff is, because it is more common within Gyaru models, so in terms of the girls, but I think because there is this expectation of these fine, small faces, which are delicate and stuff, that it is more common there, but still pretty much in the model sort of society community. And if you're thinking yourself about plastic surgery, there's no problem with that. And the only thing that I want to say about it is do that for yourself because you want it. I usually give the example of the story that girls sometimes use when they say, well, I got breast implants because my boyfriend likes big breasts. I would be one of those guys that likes big breasts. What I say then is, why in the name of fuck did you do that for the guy? I mean, if your confidence gets a boost from plastic surgery, if you know that you'll move forward because of it, that you feel more secure, then do it. But don't do it for anybody else. I'm not one of those shallow guys that say, well, you have small breasts, you better get implants or I'll dump you. I'm not horrible like that. But like I said, you need to do it for yourself. I mean, it is ridiculous to do it for anybody else. Something that made me a little sad though, I was out when I saw on Facebook this message, and it's I think pretty famous on the internet now, about this Chinese couple, right, where they were married and they got a baby. They got their first baby, and they were both beautiful parents, and the father was shocked at how ugly the baby was, and he was so shocked that he thought first that his wife cheated on him. So he did a DNA test, and it turned out he was indeed the father. And then the wife confessed that she had, I forgot how much, but like $100,000 worth of plastic surgery. And there is actually a picture online of how she looked before. And he was so horrified that he sued her, and he actually won, got the money, and he left. Which is horrible in my opinion, especially also for the baby, who he literally said that it was so horrifying that it made him sick. But I think I also heard, I don't know if that's true, I was also pretty wasted a little bit, but that they discovered that he had some mental problems or something, I don't know, which he better have, because otherwise he wouldn't do that. But what I was shocked at is the group that I was hanging out with, and it wasn't my regular group, it was a group that I met at a club, they all agreed with the guy. They all said that they would be horrified, or they would not accept somebody if they would do all this plastic surgery when they looked really horrible in the beginning, which, I don't know. I was like, I don't want to pick a fight, I'm not going to go against it, but it was a way of thinking that I did not understand. Like I said just now, if you get a confidence boost, if you feel more secure about using surgery, that is a beautiful thing, I think. I'm wearing these clothes because I feel, confident and secure, and though I didn't really feel secure in Holland though, but here, I feel happy with it, and I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it because anyone told me to. It's my own choice, and I feel really happy about it. So that was a little bit sad, and something that I didn't understand, and I think that proves that plastic surgery still here is, I wouldn't say taboo, but a little bit meh, iffy. Anyway. that was the part about plastic surgery. Now, let's get back to body weight. And I wish I could say that if you were overweight, that would be no problem here. You would not be discriminated. But unfortunately, you will get shit for it. Not necessarily in your face, but behind your back. I'm a little bit ashamed to tell that some of my friends also did partake in that, and what you need to think of is things like a Japanese girl, a little bit fat, and she has a mini skirt, some boots, but her legs are bare. And things like, well, nobody wants to look at your pig legs or gorilla legs. Gorilla is actually something that is used a whole lot as something to make someone look bad, not only in terms of body size, but also face. Like, you look like a gorilla. But yeah, and it is kind of a shame, because I know that there are some girls who are overweight, who are afraid to step into the Gyaru world. And I've always said, I think also, that there is more acceptance and more relativity in Japan for if you want to dress up cool. But I think a big difference also with that is that I don't spend time on, I don't spend a whole lot of time on fora online. Not a whole lot on Western community stuff, and a whole lot less in Japanese stuff. But you just don't read about it, because it's all behind the back again. And it's stupid, because I want to encourage people, no matter what your size is, to get into Gyaru if that's what you want. You know, and to try your best, hopefully come to Japan, not necessarily for staying, but also vacation stuff, you know, grab some clothes, stuff, just be happy and do the style. And yeah, I don't know, it was kind of a bummer to see that happen. A very interesting thing that happened to me 2 weeks ago is I was walking through Shibuya, getting some lunch, and I was stopped by a small TV crew who were interviewing some people, I think, yeah, foreigners, all foreigners, for a TV program about obesity. And they had this sign with them, with 10 girls on them. It was all the same girl, but photoshopped. And they were all numbered from 1 to 10. And number 1 was really skinny, like anorexic skinny, and the number 10 was really, really big, think sumo wrestler size. And, well, he asked me all random questions, like, what do you think the relative weight is in Holland, blah, 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 blah. And then he asked also, what would happen if your girlfriend would be fat, like number 10 all of a sudden? And I said, well, of course I would prefer a skinny girl, but if she's happy with it, then, you know, that's her choice. Again, with the plastic surgery, she doesn't have to do it for me. I don't know, indeed, how I would react, because I do admit that I am attracted to more skinny girls, so I don't know what would happen with that. But, I mean, if she's happy, then whatever. And it was difficult for me to answer this question, because I knew in my mind, I imagined my girlfriend suddenly becoming fat. I knew that she would diet like a motherfucker if that would happen. Japanese are kind of conscious about their weight, and it's the same thing with their age, where if you ask how old they are, they always say, how old do I look? And you better say something that is actually younger than they really are. But yeah, I don't know. They asked me, and he asked me indeed, like, well, one thing with the program was that they also talked, of course, about health issues, you know, getting diabetes, heart failure, stuff like that. But also, he said to me like don't you want, you know, all girls to be skinny, all girls to be skinny? And I had the feeling that they were kind of getting ridiculed in this program, and also because I don't know if this is the case, but they called her also like Debe-chan, which is I think fatty, but I am not too sure. Like I said, I'm not too sure with the slang on that. I know that indeed Debe means fat, and you should never use it when you talk to a girl, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they look at it. One thing that I figured out was, I mean, I think one reason why they could be ridiculed, or why they were look at it or being looked at is because there aren't that many overweight Japanese to begin with. There keep coming to be more because of fast food chains, but overall, Japanese food is one of the best in terms of balance. We also had an article on this in the class, where it said that Japan has number one reason for death is like stress, you know, working overtime. So mostly, you know, brain failure or brain diseases, stuff like that, high blood pressure, and nothing that is really connected to the food that they eat. So because the food is good, and because you usually get small portions of everything, right? You get a small portion of fish, you get a small portion of rice, you get a small portion of vegetables, you get a small portion of meat, blah blah blah. It's all in balance, and I think because of that, it is. There aren't that many overweight people there, and it's also, of course, that, in my opinion, Asian people spend more time on their looks than any other culture or race or whatever you want to call it that I've ever met. I don't know how, like, he also asked, like, you know, how do models and fashion pull into that? I said, well, yeah, I don't know. I know that the BMI standard that we have in the West says that those models that they have here in the magazines are unhealthy. That is something that I know for sure. I checked that out, and so yeah, that is something. But I heard they have a different BMI here and blah blah blah. I don't know. But again, I do not want to discourage anyone of getting into the Gyaru scene or Gyaru. Because that's also something that I do want to bring over. People in the West have this idea that when you come to Japan, or that all of the Gyaru and Gyaruo in Japan are these angel-looking, beautiful, perfect human beings. You'll be surprised of a few Gyaru and Gyaruo that walk around here, where you're like, well, she would be ridiculed in the West. She would be on Gyaru and Gyaruo secrets. Actually, there's no Gyaru secret, what I'm talking about Gyaru secrets. But, I mean, please don't be afraid. I mean, you might get some shit. It will probably be behind your back. Hopefully you won't know it. Doesn't make it any better, though, that it happens, but I hope that you could still be happy about doing it. And do it for yourself. If you are insecure about your weight, try dieting, try going to the gym, sport, but do it while you're having fun, though. Don't do it while you're in pain. You're like, oh, while you're on the fucking treadmill. Don't do that. Just have fun. Come here, come to Japan, have fun. Look at all the shops, you know. Do that. I mean, it's sad because it's not only something that, of course, is, you know, in Japan with fat people or with people. I mean, the Western community of Gyaru community, there's so much shit going on. For the first time in, I think, literally over a year, I checked Gyaru secrets again, and again, it is still shitty places always. But the things that girls get told off on where there's one like shadow thing back or contouring wrong is ridiculous. Girls who are really beautiful, and then there's I usually also don't even see it, where there's like, they have like, what the fuck is this? And then they point somewhere, and I'm like, I don't see what's wrong here. But yeah, there's so much hostility, so much envy, so much, I don't know, hostility towards each other. And it's not only in the Gyaru community. Weirdly enough, it is the most in all Japanese related stuff. I know that it's in Visual Kei stuff. I know that it's in Lolita stuff. I don't know. It's even whenever I meet a foreigner here. No, it's not. Whenever I see a foreigner here on the street. Usually, I don't know, the looks that they give each other are kind of hostile. To the point where, indeed, I already have my wall set up whenever I see a foreigner on the street. And it makes me sad that it became like that. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's like, oh, we're foreigners, we came to Japan, we have Japanese friends, Japanese girls around us. That is ours. No one can come in here because I am king here, I am God, I'm special here. And I don't know why that's not something that is somewhere else. Even though bitching and fights do happen in the Japanese Gyaru or whatever community here in Japan, the reason why it's not as hostile as in the West is because, I don't know, we fucking claim something to ourselves that we find in some subculture of Japan. Whereas because Japan, you know, they're Japanese already, so it is their country, it is their styles, they are more acceptant of each other because, well, you know, they're Japanese, right? It sounds really shallow, but that's why. And it is not only with things related to Japan. I want to end with this certain image that I have, and it's a very extreme image. It's not like I really see it like that, but because I want to be a film director, I'm actually gonna start studying that here in Tokyo at a university in January. But I will also make a video about my situation or stuff, because I'm actually not studying at the school anymore, but I'm going to start university in January. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, this certain image. It all actually began with, I don't remember if you, Megan Fox, who I think is a beautiful girl. She was in some, I don't know, phone commercial or something. But because she has this big thumb, or this thumb that doesn't look all that normal, they decided to use another model for a zoomed in part of the thumb when she was pushing buttons. And I think even she, like, that became a whole thing on the internet where they were like, oh my god, disgusting thumb, blah blah, and she got some contracts broken up and blah blah. And I was shocked. Because it is just a fucking thumb. I mean, when somebody's ear is different, or when they have maybe a certain spot in their neck or whatever the fuck, that already means in Hollywood or in that whole modeling society that you're fucked, that they don't want you. And what I realized then is that, like, wow, we are not that far from fucking Nazis. We don't kill people, but we are looking for this fucking Übermensch, this perfect human being, that we want it so bad that we are willing to fucking hurt a whole lot of people. And it made me realize that what I want to bring to others, who, for example, want to, you know, get into Gyaru community, a community that is quite hostile. The reason why I never really had any problem with that is because I wasn't in those communities. I never partook in them. I actually used to be in a Gyaru circle, Shibuya, which was great, and all the members were awesome and very nice. But it was perfect for me because I already said when they took me in, you have a forum. I'm not going to be very active on that forum because I just don't like that shit. I don't like you know, scrolling around on forums. I don't like posting shit on Facebook. I don't like chatting. I'm kind of social media autistic. I don't know what it is. I mean, I love meeting up with people and hanging around, but that online shit, I know. But yeah, what I wanted to, the message that I wanted to bring over is, don't worry about being perfect. Just worry about getting better. If you do that, you will have a very fun journey. A journey where you can always learn, always have new experiences, and don't have to worry about the end goal. Because It is so much going on in this world of fashion. It's never standing still, that always new things will happen, and if your goal is just a journey, that'll be perfect. See you guys next time.